here we all are in this physical experience, and in being in this physical experience, we want things. And if we don't see something, we tell ourselves it's coming, it's in the future, it's not here right now. And in doing so, we practice what that really meaning to, because we're just trying to be realistic. We're just trying to not look like a fool. We're trying to do what we were taught to do, because it's the most logical thing in the world to say, if I don't see it right now, then that means that it's not here right now. But we would tell you that there's a false premise, because what's real? Your definition of real is whatever the crowd will clap about. That's whatever the crowd will claim as real. Whatever people will think that. But whatever people agree with you with, that's what you think is real. And as we kind of struggle here to find the words, that's kind of what it's like for you, because when you're here on the leading edge and you understand the laws of the universe, there's just something that you can't understand. There's something that you must think that you're doing something wrong, because what you want still hasn't come yet. And we say, that's why, because you're on this journey. You are on this eternal journey, and being on this eternal journey means that the journey is now. The journey is not tomorrow. The journey is not when you wake up tomorrow. The journey is now. You're expecting too much from reality. You are, and we don't want to elicit complacency from you, because that's not how you should be looking at reality. You should look at reality as kind of the flop as it is. Reality can help you. Reality was never meant to be the full thing. That's when we say, oh, that's crazy. That's when we say, when you're manifestation oriented, you're operating under a false premise. The more I get, the more I'm worthy, and the more happy I'll be. The more I have, the more I will feel better about myself. And we say it's the opposite. The more you feel better about yourself, the more that you get, because you have to basically find a way to feel the way that you would if you had the millions right now, because your job is to do that. How do I get something? How do I change what I'm looking at? Because I've been looking at the same thing for over and over again, and I want something new. And we say, first of all, you have to stop that conversation. You have to stop that conversation. You have to slow that conversation down by going general, by saying things like, well, it's not always going to be like this. I was in situations like this before, and it always worked out. It's always working out for me. I believe there's something there for me, and I just can't see it right now. I'm just trapped in this moment. I'm in the confines of this moment, but slowly I'm breaking myself free, because I'm not really free from anything. I'm just breaking free from my perception of what I think to be the resistance of this moment. And when I see the resistance of this moment, I just think the fact that I'm stuck here, I'm making peace. This is me making peace with reality, because that's how you should be looking at reality. You should be looking at reality through the eyes of peace. You should make peace with reality. You know why? Because reality can give you more than reality is already giving to you, because every moment is a manifestation. You can behold it with your five senses. But you think as a creator that what we're saying is that the reality that you're looking at, that's the same reality that you can change. We're like, that's illogical. The reason why it's illogical is it defies the laws of the physics, because that's not what a creator does. A creator doesn't look at a painting someone else does and try to fix it and then try to paint over it. That's not what a creator does. What a creator does is they paint something completely different. They paint what they want. They choose the colors that they want. They help them decide what colors feel right to them, what type of image that they want to create. Life does that for them. The artist, that painter, is truly in the vortex if that's how they're thinking. They're not trying to appease anyone. They're doing it because painting is an extension of their connection. Is that crazy? When you truly get in the vortex, it's like some people want fame, and in wanting their fame, they really want it because the vibrational root of wanting it is because they don't feel noticed, they don't feel heard, and so they're like, if I was famous, it would all change. But once you're in vibrational balance with that desire, you don't care about the fame anymore, because the connection feeds you everything that you want. Naturally, the fame comes. We're not telling you that your desires are bad. We're just telling you that you have to take the right vibrational stance when approaching them, because it's not that. Here's the thing: is like, you don't have to stop thinking about your desires. You just have to. You know what it is? It's like, it doesn't matter whose teachings you follow. It doesn't matter what teacher you're listening to. The teacher that you should listen to, the only thing that really matters is if you feel good whenever you're doing the process, because the feeling is not exactly the secret. The feeling is an indicator of your vibrational offering. So if you feel good while you're doing that, then who's to say that's wrong? That's the thing. Who's to say that something that you do feels good to you? Only you know what it is. Only you know what it really means to you. Only you can understand that. Because here's the thing: you're on this eternal journey, like we were saying. You're on this eternal journey, and being on this eternal journey means that there's no stops. Meaning the energy is calling you. Meaning that you're making this. It's like this stream will go everywhere that you want to go. But in your attitude of being like, well, where am I? You know that kid on the road trip that's like, are we there yet? And the driver just explodes. That's what it's like. You're like, are we there, universe? And the universe is like, the more you say, are we there yet? The more you start to practice, the more you start to look around, because think about it, whatever you look at, whatever you give your attention to, you're creating more of. And especially when what is so sticky, because when you start to look at what is, you're like, yeah, you start to be like, yeah, that's true, that's real, this is real, because you can see it, so you compound it more of it. And then so you stay stuck in reality. And then do you understand what it means that you're creating patterns of resistance where you thwart connection. Because here's the thing, in every moment you're in a receiving one, you could be receiving source at all times of the day. You should be receiving everything that you want. You could be, but you're not there. You're not perceiving source, because you can't change this moment. We accept that. This moment cannot yield you anymore, because this moment's already finished. So when you mine this moment, for more, then you're not being the creator, you're being the regurgitator. You're trying to compound this one. You're trying to look at this moment and you're trying to make more of it. But we're like, when you're a creator, you can just create a new moment. When you're a creator, you can just create something brand new. You can just start from scratch. You don't have to go from where you've been. You don't have to look back. You can start from scratch. And so when we talk about reality, and so we really just want you to go over reality. Reality is not your friend. And why we say reality is not your friend, we just say that reality is not what you want. Reality, you don't, because even when reality morphs to become what you want, it still is not enough, because you're the creator. You always want something that you're eternal. You have an eternal appetite, and so you have to be this creator. So when you're just enjoying the journey, which means that you're always standing in this place of eternal being unfinished. You're always unfinished, meaning you're here right now and you're like, well, this is the stance, satisfied and ready for more. It's perfect vibrational stance for everything that you want, for the life that you really want. So that translates as, I don't really have it right now. I can't look for the evidence of my desire right now, but I still believe it because I feel it. I emotionally know it's there. And so you have to start pretending it. You have to start pretending it in your mind. You have to be like, well, what can I think right now to put myself in the feeling, in the escrow, in that feeling of what I want? Because it's putting myself in that feeling of what I want. Think about it. What's the feeling of what you want? If you had more money right now, how would you feel? Think about it right now. If I had the writing career that I wanted, if I just had the money right now, how would you feel? Think about it. You would feel so relieved. You would feel so relieved. Before you would feel ecstatic, you would just be like, yes, I don't have to live a normal life. Yes, I don't have to go out there and do everything that everyone else does. I can just do whatever I want. You would feel the peace of just being able to sit down and be like, I'm taken care of. You would feel the security. Isn't that interesting? You'd be like, everyone's looking at me and they're all just happy for me because I'm succeeded. I finally made it. It's so nice. It's such a relief to know that I finally made it. Like, it happened for me. Like, thank God. I always knew that was going to come. Because you have to bank on the fact that it's already coming. Because everyone's looking for evidence. You're like, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And we're like, but that's not how it works. You have to know something that no one else does, and everyone knows it instinctually. But there's some subjects that everyone's good at, and there's some that everyone is not, because of resistance, because these patterns of resistance, of these habits of thought that you think about that we're gonna say attack you, but they don't attack you because you invite them in, that are practiced. Because here's the thing, your thoughts are practiced. You know that you have practiced thoughts on every subject. So there's some subjects that are just such a flop for you because the momentum happens so fast. But when you realize that, you can't look in the number one cause of your resistance is that you can't look in this moment and find anything that you want. But it wasn't, and are you ready for this? It was never meant to be that way, because you're the creator. Meaning, because if this moment reflected everything that you ever wanted, you would be dead in a way that you would be dead. You would be not in this body. So as this eternal creator, you look at this reality, but you don't look at this reality in the eyes of like, in the eyes of hunger. You look at this reality in pure acceptance, being like, well, I can't find anything in this reality because it's already done. So I can't find. So this old reality cannot reflect the new things that this old reality has asked from me, has elicited from me. That's a good word. Because you can't look in the same reality that made you ask and expect the improvement to come, in the same way that you can't ask for something and receive it at the same moment. There has to be space in between. And so that's literally what the time in between your manifestation is about. That's what the limbo feels like. That's what like the journey along the way is. It's the asking and then the receiving, because you've done all the asking, so now you have to receive. But the only thing that hinders your receiving is your ability and your inclination to just keep looking around and be like, are we there? So it's like you're on the brink of manifestation. Do you understand that you're on the brink? Because this journey is not ending. No one is telling you can have it, but it's what we're saying is that, can you perceive it? Can you perceive the impulse right now? If it's true, and it is, that the $1 million right now, the path of least resistance to the $1 million right now is being radiated to you, and it's all about your perception, then can you perceive it? Are you able to perceive the $1 million? And if your answer is no, then guess what happens? Guess what that means? That means that you're not ready to see it. And you're being ready to see it has everything to do with are you ready for this? Has everything to do with your ability to make peace with the fact that you don't have it right now. That's crazy, because that's literally what that's the resistance. That's the thing that's just making it flop. That's the thing that stops the stream. That's the thing that short circuits you. The thing that electrocutes you is that you don't see it right now. So you're like, oh crap, if I don't see it right now, then it's not real. But we're like, but you have to get over that. You have to get over that because you're vibrational. Because you're on the brink of manifestation all the time. And it's like you're going, and then you stop and you're like, well, where am I? How long is it taking? Well, how much longer? Are we there yet? And we're like, but and then you stop indefinitely, and then you go in the opposite direction because you're like, oh, I'm not there. How much more longer do I have to do this? I've been doing this for so long. Does this really work? And then you practice something completely different. You literally go in the opposite direction. And meanwhile, what truly is the path that you're supposed to take, and when we say supposed to, is the path that you knew that is the path of literally the least resistance, is being like, you know what, I don't see it right now, but this reality is old. This reality is a result of my residual energy, my residual beliefs, but it's all flopping, it's all going away, it's all just ebbing away from me because this moment's old. So I'm not gonna be mad that I can't see what I want, because even my being mad, even my being complaining, even my disappointment, like, what I want still exists. What I want still exists. So you know what's crazy? You should start making plans. You should start pretending it. You should start being like, yes, I'm gonna throw my resume out. I never have to work ever again because I'm being a billionaire. My billions are right there. I feel it. I don't see it right now, and that's fine. I don't see it right now in this moment. My book, my script, my screenplay, my movie, my Oscar-winning film, my Grammy-winning album, it's done. And like I'm making plans for it right now. Think about it. Where are you gonna put your awards? Where are you gonna put your Nobel Peace Prize for literature? Where are you gonna put all the things that you want? What type of house are you gonna buy? And it's interesting because when you're not in this, because you know what approach everyone's taking, and this is actually really crazy. This is the same for a lot of people, and we're not calling anyone out because who really cares? It's more like it's just a fine tuning. So we want something, right? And most of the time you want it because the absence hurts. You want it because you can't feel good without it. And we're like, but that's vibrational imbalance. So when you start to understand this, when you just get into vibrational balance, you realize that what I want, because let's go back to that example when we're like, oh, I want it because I can't feel good about it. And we're like, well, you want it because you don't feel good about it. Why don't you feel good about it? Because I can't see the path there. So in my inability to see the path there, I thwart my connection. I don't feel my connection. So if I could just see the path, if I just had a sign, I would believe it. I'm like, well, how's that working out for you? And you're like, well, it's not really working out for me. That's why I'm asking you. I'm like, true. Well, why do you want it? And you're like, oh, I want it because it would feel good, it would feel fun, it would just feel easy to write this book. It just feels like it's something that I have to do. It feels like it is me. And I'm like, but there you go, ding ding ding. You want it for the connection. So now you're in connection. Now you're like, okay, like I feel like this. Now I have emotional manifestation. Now I have the emotional reason why I want it. Now I have it. Now it is a current reality. I'm currently living this book and I'm writing right now. I'm living, I'm enjoying it. Bam, the ideas start coming. Bam, the skeleton starts coming. Everything starts coming. So it's the same with any of your desires, because what we're saying is that your desires are not wrong, but when you go into vibrational balance, you're more likely to even want your desires even more now, because you're like, oh, I can already have it. But you got this. You know, you really understand all this, and so much of your creation is literally finished. It's done. But stop looking around where you are. Stop wondering where you are. Why is everything taking so long? Because you're not aware. You're unawarely practicing a vibration of disappointment and absence, truly, because you're looking around. So stop looking around. Know where you're going. Look forward. Keep looking forward. Keep looking in the direction. Keep understanding that it's there. I have it. I can't find it in this reality, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm not a bad creator. It's just not here in this reality, and this reality is old. What can I really do about it? Nothing. Like, I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. It's that same energy. It's like, whatever, like giving shrug energy, and you look forward. You just look forward. Keep looking forward. Do not stop looking forward. Because this reality is nothing. This reality doesn't mean anything. Because people will be like, well, you have to explain why this reality is like that, and then you're like, well, it doesn't matter, because who cares? I'm a creator. I can go and create another reality. That's the thing, is that law of attraction is literally responding to you. It's responding to you. So what do you want? What do you want? What are you waiting for? What will make your heart sing? Make your list. Start getting in the driver's seat of your life, because you can do it, because everything's ready for you. But you have to know that you're doing it. You have to stop these resistance pathways, this inclination to look around. You have to quit that, because you have to realize that nothing you want is going to be found in this moment. Nothing. And we tell you, make positive aspects of your what is, because when you make peace with what is, it's just easier to get out of it. It's easier to find the new, it's easier to look, are you crazy? Are you ready? No, you're not crazy. You're completely normal. You just understand the laws of the universe. You just understand that life's supposed to be good for you. But the best way to start looking in the direction that you want, and the best way to look forward, is to make peace with the fact that you're looking here. Seriously, because once you make peace with the fact that you're looking over here and it's fine, because nothing you want is even here anyway, it's all there, then guess what happens? you start going over there. You naturally start going, you start to look forward. It's crazy. And coming up, we will be talking about imagination and how you're not really imagining things. You're literally you're seeing things as they will be one day. And you know what's crazy? If you stayed in your fantasy world, quote unquote fantasy world, longer, if you truly stayed there and enjoyed the vibrational productivity of it, your life would have caught up to your fantasies already. And so it's okay that they're not, but it's time for them too. It's time for your life to be one of fantasy, but it's not fantasy. It's just normal. Everything I want is done, and I'm already planning for it. I'm rich. I'm planning to be rich. I already know this bill's gonna get paid. People are like, well, you don't have any evidence. How could you think that? And you're like, well, I have all evidence I need. They're like, well, it's not here. And you're like, well, this reality is old. So even if you can't find any of my money here because this reality is already done, the cake's already been baked. So now you can't change the ingredient. It's already finished. Who cares about, let's go bake another cake. Let me create another moment, period.